From the early 1950s, the industrial production of food intensifies, and the food industry focuses on improved preservatives and comfort food. Mass production of food accelerates because of agricultural mechanization that makes preservatives even more important to be able to store and deliver these enormous quantities worldwide. From this period on, people spend less time in the kitchen and eat more fast, pre-packed, and processed and high-sugar food. Food becomes increasingly lower in nutritional value and keeps growing in number of calories. From the 1950s, we see a yearly growth of overweight and obesity. Millions of diet products are hurled into the market, mostly aimed at a quick fix, fast solution that many people want to believe in. Because sugar has largely replaced fat as the tastemaker of our food, it is good to have a deeper look at the effects of consuming too much simple and refined sugar. Diabetes foundations and associations report that excessive sugar consumption can lead to diabetes type 2, intestinal complaints, fatigue, overweight, tooth decay, headache, hepatic steatosis or liver fattening, overworked pancreas, lowered body immune resistance, shortage of important nutrients, increased inflammation. As you can see, too much sugar is not good for you. But which types of sugars or carbohydrates are there? We mainly distinguish between simple or fast-release carbohydrates and complex or slow-release carbohydrates. It is important to know that the simple or fast carbs are quickly absorbed into our bloodstream, which causes our blood sugar levels to peak, which in turn causes the pancreas to release insulin into our blood to lower the blood sugar levels again. In complex carbs, the sugars are accompanied by fibers, which leads to a much slower absorption rate and much lower peaks in blood sugar levels. Let's have a more detailed look at the disadvantages of too many blood sugar level peaks. The first big disadvantage of fast blood sugar level peaks is that they're quickly followed by a blood sugar level dip, which makes us feel hungry and creates a craving for something sweet. This is the addiction cycle of sugar. Insulin also starts a process called lipogenesis within the liver, which is the conversion of sugars into fats. Sugary foods and drinks are also on the acidic side of the acid-base balance and are high on the glycemic index. According to researchers, this acidic food leads to tissue acidification, which can lead to organ damage as well as increased chances of obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Our microbiome, the millions of microorganisms in our stomach and intestines, benefits from fibrous food, but suffers from energy-rich, nutrient-poor, and processed food. This can result in leaky gut syndrome and low-grade inflammation, which can accelerate many chronic diseases. We also need to mention leptin resistance. As mentioned earlier, leptin is the hormone that is produced in our fat cells and it signals our brain that we are full. Eating too little fiber and too much calorie-rich food can disrupt the effects of leptin, which quickly makes us hungry again. Lastly, the pancreas. Prolonged overload of the pancreas through continuous consumption of calorie-rich food that contains little nutrients and fibers can cause defects in the pancreas and a higher chance of diabetes. The challenge is that by now, sugar is in 70 to 80% of our food, often disguised by unrecognizable ingredient names and most often in overly large quantities. The World Health Organization and national health councils advise against the daily consumption of foods that are rich in simple and refined sugar. Since 2015, the World Health Organization advises a maximum of 50 grams of sugar per day, but preferably 25 grams. On average, we eat a whopping 110 grams per day. A small tip: read the product labels. On the back, it will show carbohydrates, and below that, of which are sugars. If that number is higher than 5%, you might wonder if this is a product you want to buy. In Part 3 of this program, How Do We Eat Right Now?, we'll have a look at our current diet.